What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport. My name's Pete, and thanks for joining me today. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps out greatly, as well as liking the video. So today, I'm going to do something that I've kind of told most of you guys I would be doing in a short time, and that is going over our 1996 sc300 drift car. So it's been a while since I've really done a whole lot on this. I actually filmed doing the whole rear seat LRB speed. It's an aluminum rear seat delete, basically. I did that. I also moved the e-brake. And if you guys are new to this channel, this is a manual w58 transmission. So that means this specific car came stock as a manual. So it came with the stock transmission. And there's a lot of things that could have been done to this car that I am completely unaware of. All I've done so far is really getting it cosmetically ready to be a drift car. That means gutting it out. I put some new tires and rims on here just to be able to move it around. And today I went ahead and polished the headlights. They were absolutely disgusting. Whoever had it before had the same goal of doing a drift car and spray painted the word drift on them. And I was very happy to see that all I had to do really was wet sand them and then go ahead and polish them out. And they look, to me, actually really good. This one's got some dirt and stuff inside there, but the finish on it is very good. There's no cracking, no pitting, and so that really made me happy. So what I'm going to do right now, one other thing that I just got done doing, I removed the MagnaFlow exhaust. I went ahead on the last thing that we did on this car that I posted a video for, really was adding this MagnaFlow muffler. I did a ton of research on what exhaust I wanted to do on my 500 SL that all of you guys have been seeing in the last 4 or 5 videos, and I really wanted to go with the MagnaFlow. So since I had already purchased that and it's not a cheap muffler, I decided to pull it from this car and then weld on the muffler that was already on here just to have something on there. So I went ahead and did that today, and then basically swapped out the other muffler that we're going to be putting on the other car. There's more to that when I do that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this forward. I'm going to spray it down with some water, get it cleaned up, and then go over the interior with you guys on where we're at with that. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so let's start with the outside and talk about what my goals and my vision was with this car from the beginning. So obviously I bought this car to mainly specifically be a drift car and possibly my manual daily driver. And I kind of went that route when the 190e Mercedes that I had that's a manual kind of went out because I decided to sell that car off due to the fact that it doesn't have AC and it wouldn't really be as usable in Florida as this car would. So what I wanted to do was go with a wide body kit, and I found the polyurethane rear from KBD to fit, that I really like the fitment on in the rear here. Now, I was looking for kits for a while, and I came across a lesser expensive one made by Duraflex, and I absolutely love the way the front fenders looked for their wide body kit. I know it might sound funny going with a different front fender and a different rear, and now not to leave the bumpers out, I was planning to do front and rear bumpers as well, but right now the cost of those are just out of what I can do. So my goal was to start with the fenders, since those are basically mismatched, they're beat up, and they need body work, and this way I can eliminate having to do as much body work just to get this car to look the way I want. So basically that's the outside goal. Oh, I brought one of the rims out. Now this was going to be a surprise reveal once I got tires. So these are TSW, they're massive rims. These are 19, and these ones I think are the rear 10.5 by 19, and then the fronts I think are 9.5 by 19. So these were the rims that I planned on putting on here once we did the wide body kit. So I was beyond excited to do all this. I had already picked up tons of stuff, and any of you guys that had been following this build know I went crazy getting stuff for the inside, and just started putting it in. I did the steering wheel. We tore the entire interior out minus some of the components. I wanted to keep the dash. I wanted to keep my sunroof and top, but we took all the door panels out, speakers, radio, all that stuff that would not be necessary even for daily driving this car, in my opinion. But I kept the essentials like air conditioning because we are in Florida. Now, I went ahead and put a cheap set of seats. I know you're going to give me crap, some of you guys out there, but I just wanted to get something in here just to get an idea and concept. And in all honesty, these seats are extremely comfortable. So we also went with planted seat mounts. Now, I've already installed those on both sides, but only installed this seat. The goal was to then get a roll cage at least installed towards the back area here and run the 3-point seat belt harnesses. Have not gotten to that point yet, so right now I'm actually running without seat belts, but I did hold on to the stock ones so I could easily throw those back in if I want to start driving this car. Now on to the rear. So this is something that you guys have not seen yet. Let me go ahead and clip in now some of the footage that I did installing this. Okay guys, so I'm halfway done with getting this installed. Just wanted to fill you in on how it went through. That back shelf, very easy. You just put the gasket liner along that back edge, slide it in. You got two little screws that go in. You want to do that first. Then you want to put these in here. They slide right into place. They're little brackets, and you use a washer and the bolt that came with it, and you got 3 on each side. Very simple. And then you attach into each one of these underneath. You're going to attach these little clips that these bolts are going to go into. So if you look here, there's the little clips facing down on each one of those and on the inside of this panel here. Now here's the part that I missed, but it's actually not that bad because it was really easy to fix, is this piece right here. So let me show you guys how this works. So if you look there, there's just a little, basically a bolt sticking out is what it looks like. Now, that's this right here with this attached to one end, and on the other end there's another bolt. Now you got to take, there's a corresponding nut on the back side of here with a pretty decent gap before you hit this panel. Now if you don't do this part, you're going to get a lot of vibration right here. Also, you want to make sure you put the other gasket along that top edge. This keeps all this paneling from vibrating. So basically, if you forgot to do it, you can easily pull this forward here. Let me get up in here. And you see the bolt right there. I'll go ahead and remove that bolt or nut, and then the bolt will allow me to attach the other nut to it, and then that standard basically bolt stem. And then I can attach my nut to the outside and get all this to kind of tidy up. Let me go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so now that you kind of saw how this went in, it wasn't really the most difficult thing. It went in pretty easy, so I wasn't really hyped about launching that video because it could be a very boring video of just throwing some sheet metal or aluminum panels into here, and I didn't want to bore you guys. So I lost some of the footage. I chimed in as much as I could find back on my device, and I just never launched that video. But we did do the door panel video, and we did do the center console. I mentioned that I got this shift knob. We went ahead and put a really cool, my opinion, a really cool shift boot in, and also did a video on installing this D&D steering wheel along with the NRG quick release. So that's kind of where we were at with that. Now, something else I wanted to mention was I went ahead and moved the e-brake over to the other side. Now, that was possible because these cars were set up for basically left-hand, right-hand. I did have to modify the center console a little bit on the other side. I'll jump over there now and show you guys that. Okay, now I'm on the other side, and you guys can see there's a whole bunch of crud in here. I'll try to go through this and what this is. But this is how I mounted this in. Basically, your 2 bolt holes were already there. I had to cut this panel a little bit, and then I was able to install this. Now, I still got to hook up this so that the light on the dash will function properly, but everything is working currently. So I do have an e-brake. And why did I do that? The goal was to be able to put a hydro brake onto the proper side so that I could easily use that when drifting. So I do have this Willwood hydro brake along with cylinder that was on the list to install in a future video. Along with that, I've got extra calipers for the rear, and that is so that you can run your hydro as a second brake system to your standard rear brakes, which is a really neat feature. So all you need to do that is a conversion of the basically the mounting bracket for your rear brakes. It'll be 4 brakes that can go on there. I really plan on doing that. Like I said, if I do sell the car, unfortunately I'll be passing these things on, but I still have doubts that I plan on selling it, because doing this today has got me more excited about getting back into doing this drift build. So I went ahead and purchased these a few weeks back with the hopes of installing them. So these are the LS400 big brake. So this is basically brand new rotors slotted here. These massive brake calipers. This guy did an awesome job. He basically remanufactured and painted them, and unfortunately, before they were completely cured and dried, had put them down onto a towel, as you can see here. But look at this finish. I mean, it's incredible. I wish the whole finish would look good, but the reason why I got such a good deal on them is because of that. And he had sold the car before he had installed these. So these have brand new brake pads in them. And of course, I've got the full set on that. And then I've got my harness here, which I'd picked up in hopes to install that with the roll cage. So these are all things that I still have plans on doing. And just let me know down below, guys, what you think. Should I keep this car and continue this build? It will take away from some of the other builds that I really want to get to, but at the same time, I could put this off to the side in no rush. And if I do sell this, what that'll do is really help finance some of the other projects that I'm kind of putting off right now. And the big one is my 1963 Austin Healey. I want to pull the motor. I want to redo everything. I want to build the motor to be more of a track car, and then I want to take that car to the track. The cost on that is not going to be super expensive because I bought all the performance parts. It's just going to be the expenses of getting it, put back together and having somebody tune it, and then adding all the parts back in that I don't have, like electronics and stuff like that. So let me know if you would rather see this car being built, sell this car, and use that money towards another project that maybe you guys want to see. Or if you want me to sell this and put it straight towards the 1963 Austin Healey, if that would excite you guys more. Or do I keep this and slowly progress on all my projects? Let me know, guys. Of course, ultimately, it is my decision on what I'm going to do, but I always like hearing your feedback, what you guys love and hate about this car. Most of my viewers are here for the Mercedes, and I know that, but I'm an enthusiast of many types of cars, and this is one of the cars that I kind of wanted to really get into. It's a 2JZ, which is a very solid platform. So many things you can do with it, and this to me was such an underrated sports car of the 90s that people almost forgot about. And the reason why is I believe it was kind of out of the price range of the group of people that would have really enjoyed driving this new, and it was not the style of the people that were in that price range, meaning your high mid-class everyday workers weren't looking for a two-door sports car that was made by Lexus at the time, in my opinion. But the younger enthusiasts that were coming up really started to like the Lexus brand, and this was the car that they wanted, but it was just a little bit out of their range. And now you're starting to see enthusiasts really pick these cars up. I'm one of them, and Xavier, who you guys see a lot on this channel, is another one of them. So once again, my name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. I hope you guys enjoyed the walk around and explanation of what the plans are with this car, and just let me know in the comments what you think. Have an awesome day and a blessed week, guys.